India isn't just one of the world's biggest wedding destinations, it's one of the most extraordinary.
These are the best places to get married in India.
Today, we are talking about everything you need to know before getting wedded in India.
Hello. I am Ananya. I'm the partnerships executive at Wedded. I'm Indian myself. I have obviously been raised and brought up in India. Then I have traveled across the globe, across Dubai, Singapore, Australia. I work with businesses, venues from small to big from all across the world in helping them understand how to grow their business on the global level. And I also work with a lot of couples who are planning destination weddings in helping them what they need help with, because trust me when I say this, they do need help with a lot of things.
Why is it that couples are choosing India for destination weddings?
Even within the last 2 years, things have changed a lot, and we have seen more and more people going back to India to do destination weddings, and also people within India doing destination weddings, like a local destination weddings. And there are a multiple of reasons why I think that has changed. I think it's the geographical diversity. I think whenever it comes to India, diversity is the first thing that comes to mind. So if you are looking for a beach wedding, we have Goa. If you're looking to get married in a palace or a fort, we have Rajasthan. If you're looking to get married in a backwater situation, we have Kerala. So it is one country that has everything to offer in one place. But at the same time, I think culture plays a huge role, because nowadays what I have seen is it's as much as it is about culture, it is also about how can I have the convenience with culture. And I don't think so you can get like an authentic Indian wedding anywhere except like when in India. With our generation, which is the Gen Z, if I talk about the NRIs who are outside of India, coming back home has become a separate feeling. So it's familiar, yet it's an escape, if that makes sense. A lot of people are now wanting to go back because this is the new cool. There's also value. If I was to do a wedding with 250 people in Europe, that would cost me 4x if I was to do it in Rajasthan. At the same time, I have multiple things available in India. Like the convenience is utmost priority. Like I have the amount of different types of cuisines that I can have. There's transport, there is logistics that are involved, and people understand in India how that works. People know how to pull up a wedding for 500 people, which I think becomes really hard when you're outside of India. I have attended multiple destination weddings outside of India, and there's so many things that you have to like worry about. Like, let's say alcohol. We were talking about alcohol yesterday. That is a very important element for Indian weddings, but it becomes really hard when you're getting married outside of India. Do they have my food? Is the food yummy? Because trust me, the parents in India, food is their utmost priority. Even when I talk to my family or my parents, like the food, the authenticity, the convenience for the guests is really important. Another thing which I have seen change over the last few years is that we have to consider where the guests are coming from. And this is not just for Indian weddings, but weddings all across the world. You have to see where your couples are coming from. Which age group are they in? Are they old people? Can they travel that much to go to another destination altogether to attend the wedding? So I think there's a couple of things that affect that. But with India also, India as a country has now started recognizing the importance of weddings, and the tourism board has also started promoting weddings, which then brings me to the point of visa applications. Let's say, like whenever you're doing a destination weddings, the ease at which you're reaching that destination from both a guest perspective and a couple perspective becomes also really important. And with India, if you're applying for a visa for a wedding, they streamline the process and give you a quicker visa. So anyone who's traveling from outside of India, it's easier to just fly into the country without the hassle of, will I get my visa? Will I be able to attend the wedding? So I think there's a couple of things involved, but on a overall basis, overarching basis, these are the few things that I think why international couples are coming back to India.
When we think about the inbound market to India, they're generally the couples are coming from the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and then potentially some Middle Eastern and European countries as well. What are the top wedding destinations in India to start?
I mean, the most popular ones from like anyone outside of India and even just in India is Rajasthan. The first one, we have Udaipur, Jodhpur, Jaipur. We have ample number of forts, palaces that you can get married in if that's the look and feel that you're going for, which gives you the very traditional, authentic cultural infrastructure. Then if you're looking for a beach wedding, then we have Goa. We have Andaman and Nicobar and Lakshadweep, which are two islands in India, which are also becoming really popular from, again, a destination perspective. Then we also have South India, which has the backwaters in Kerala, Northeast India, which has Meghalaya and different destinations across that, which are becoming really popular. If you're looking for that mountainous and hill feel, we have North India with Shimla, Dalhousie and different destinations across that. It comes down to like couple choosing what would they want in their destination rather than the destination choosing them. So it's about like them finding what fits the best fit.
Are people getting married in the cities in Mumbai and Delhi for destination weddings?
I would say from a destination wedding, no. It's a dry destination wedding, I would say. Like Mumbai and Delhi are usually chosen because of their reach and how accessible they are. And given that your family is really surrounded across those areas. From a destination wedding perspective, they're both very like metropolitan cities. So it's not the same look and feel. We do have a lot of venues that have opened up on the outskirts of both of these cities. We do have like chains like Taj, Oberoi, Leela, who have multiple venues across both of these cities as well. Again, from a destination perspective, I don't think so it's the first choice, but it's definitely something that comes down to like how accessible it is, how many people do you want to host, and what the cost of it is.
So where was the Ambani wedding, the most recent one?
The Ambani wedding was in Bombay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but
that's
the
because
scale of that wedding was insane. That happened in Bombay, but then again, I don't think Ambani's wedding was a destination wedding.
No.
It was a huge, big, fat Indian wedding, yes, but it was not a destination wedding in my perspective.
Yeah, it wasn't pure destination. I mean, people flew in.
Yeah.
But it's like somebody having a wedding in Sydney and having their family or their friends or, Kim Kardashian fly in. It's the same sort of thing, right? So...
It depends on how many people do you want to get. Because if you're getting like 1,000 people, you probably would not want to do it in Udaipur in a fort. Like it's hard to accommodate that much people in that place, and it's going to cost you much more for everyone to travel and managing the logistics side of it. So it comes down to how big is the wedding.
Seasonality. When's the best time to get married in India?
More than the weather, it's also about when is your wedding date auspicious. So we have periods of auspicious dates. So it's weather obviously gets aligned with it automatically. So it's placed out in a way that it works out for the best. We call them Saya dates in India, which are basically the different dates and the block of dates and when you can get married. So whenever you're getting planning to get married in that year, you go to your priest, you go to your family priest and ask them, so what are the dates that we can get married? He'll give you a bunch of options that these are the dates that would be good for you. And then you make a decision based off when do you think everyone will be free. A lot of couples take the decision based off when are the exams happening for the children. Like, will the children be able to attend? When will the people outside of India have their leaves?
Western holidays, potentially. Yeah.
So then you go back to okay, so these are the dates that I have and these are the people that I want to be inviting and this is how I can logistically play it out. With Rajasthan, people usually prefer winter months, which is from November to Feb because it's cooler, because otherwise it's really hot in Rajasthan. Goa is much more flexible in that case, but the heavy wedding season will start from October end and go up to till March and April. And then it kind of slows down in mid-between.
Really kicks off after Diwali, right?
After Diwali, on. It's wedding time.